Oswin.
Hey, what's up, guys? We're doing the live stream, and I hope my camera's
Why
hooked
can't
up
we read anyone's
properly.
stuffs?
Oh yeah, it's gonna be over here. Ugh.
Hello.
What up, Charmander?
Yes, we remember you. But did you read the book?
Yeah, we're gonna be talking about this book,
and
which
spoiling it.
Yeah, it's really good. If you didn't, there's
Read
not
it.
gonna be very many people here anyway because people don't know how to read.
No.
And everybody's all like excited. I'm gonna read it. I'm gonna read it. And then guess what? One person freaking read it. So I'm very disappointed in all of you that didn't read it. Okay, because you guys promised me you were gonna read the book that I chose, and everybody was excited about it, and I was excited about it, and it's one of my favorite books. Like legit, I really liked it. You didn't really like it?
I've refused to talk to him so far about this book.
So I really don't know. I just know that you didn't hate it. I know that much. But I don't know how you felt about it. By the way, how's our audio? How's the video on this stream? Is everything okay?
Oh, Exiled read it.
Oh, yay.
Okay, so I know T read it. Hello T, hello Christy, hello Chelsea, hello Angelica, hello Jessica Rose. So I think Christy, Chelsea, and Jessica Rose are just popping in to say hi.
When
basically.
I say Angelica, who do you think of?
From Rugrats.
Yeah, me too.
So I think they're just whatever. Chelsea's almost done. Christy started, and Bree read it, but she's getting her COVID shot.
Just put on headphones and
Christy
just listen to us.
says she's sorry. She's still gonna read it though. You should. It's good.
You should leave, and then read it, and then
because we're going to spoil stuff.
Because it's I like it. I really liked it, man. I gave it a star.
That's spoilers for our next video.
What?
Oh no, wait, no, it's not. You already talked.
I already talked about it. Yeah.
I
gave it a star.
I mean, it tells you something that like I spent money on the physical book even though I hated the cover.
So did T.
Yes, so it proves that we liked it because
it's not like a $5 book. Because
I know that like,
right? It's not like a $5 book.
Okay. This was like $17 or something.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I know authors don't get a ton of money for like audiobooks, so if I really like a book, I like to support them and buy the physical covers.
Also,
copy.
If you haven't read the book and you think you're gonna like it, you also like to buy the physical copy.
True.
Because you're dumb.
T gave it 5 stars.
Nice, T. I'm glad that you. How are you? I'll talk to you about the other books later.
So, what did everyone rate it? Well, Exiled. What did you rate it? Because I don't think anyone else besides T read it. He gave it a star, which is like above a 5.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm torn between a 4.5 and a 5, and I'll explain why.
Okay. I mean, that's still really good.
Yeah.
That's still like the best that it could be.
It's still better than most of the books I read this year.
Yeah.
I feel like there were a couple of things in the book that just weren't.
So here's the thing, right? Going in, I knew nothing about the book.
I didn't either. I knew something about you talking about some sort of weapon system, but they don't even talk about that.
No, they don't. They don't.
I was like, when are they going to get to this weapon system he was talking about?
He talks about it in his video on how it works.
All right, I'm interested because Exiled said enjoyed it, but 2 things they didn't like.
Okay.
I never thought I could hate and love a character at the same time.
Yeah.
So
remember when I mentioned like there was adult themes? That's what I was talking about. Like the things that he did, there was no physical things happening, but they talked about it a lot. So if there are trigger things there, you may have been triggered by certain things. You see what I mean? Like you took notes of something?
Yeah, but I'm writing something down so I don't forget.
Okay. So so that was a big thing that like I really enjoyed that like side of that character, the fact that like he did all those bad things, and this was like the first time I read a book that was like that they talked about like how he was like bad and like how a character was like trying to like do a redemption thing, but it was like he already basically had a whole lifetime of just being a dick, just like he was just like a dick.
Yeah. So anyway, okay, so Exiled says 1 was simple. I really didn't like this is like such a weird reason to like not rate a book a 5 in my opinion. The use of the word poo in one of the chapters.
Wait, that was the reason they hate something?
It just took me out of the story for some reason. I
No.
get it, but like, I feel like that's a weird reason.
It was
No
probably
offense.
supposed to be like funny, but I don't remember them saying that.
Chelsea said, I feel zero love for the dude. It's still all hate for me. I just finished a chapter where he fights Lyra. So they found out who he is. The second was bigger. I really didn't like rooting for a main character who's basically a mass rapist, even though he was trying to go through a redemption arc. So that my problem lies where one of my problems, I feel like they don't explain what happens in his life to make him change his mind on his past. Like,
I never thought about that.
Why does he go from raping and pillaging and no, don't pillage me?
I think it's because like he got taken down, right? And then he went into like hiding, and then probably realized
but
like
I feel
when you're taken out of that pedestal, when you're not like up here anymore, now you can clearly see everything. From up there, he just like could only.
I feel like that should have been explained.
He could only see what. Yeah, but I mean, you could make a conclusion by yourself. You could be an adult, you know. You could be a big girl and figure it out by yourself. The book doesn't have to tell you everything.
No, but when you are in a redemption story, I feel like you should.
This is an adult book. I know you're used to like those baby books.
I feel like you should
baby
be
kids.
told why there's redemption. Like what? Because he talks about at the beginning of every chapter, you find out things that he's done, and he talks about the terrible things he's done throughout his life. But what's making him remorseful, first off? And secondly, remorseful to the point where he literally cries like 15 times in the book, throughout the book. Crying about things
like 5 times.
Things that he
maybe
did in
4.
his past. So
4, maybe 5.
Why? So that's just one thing that for me, I wish they had. Even if it was like
he became woke.
Even if
he
it
figured
was
out like
a
what
quick
he did.
Sentence, like I wish that they had just talked about it a little bit, acknowledge it, because yes, I don't know necessarily if you're supposed to like him as a character. At the end, they talk about how
it's
made
your
him
choice. You like him
hero,
if you want to like him.
But like he's not really loved by a lot of people still. But people are starting to acknowledge that he is making changes in his life and doing things for the good. But in his mind, he thought he was doing things for the good the whole time. Besides the whole, and even like when it came to like raping women, he used to justify it to himself that like he wasn't really raping them. He was like, they were giving themselves up, but just not like 100%. Like,
well, I mean, yeah, it's a slippery slope, right? When you're talking about something like that, because one, we don't have that experience, right? So we can't see, so we're just kind of guessing on how he felt at the time and how he feels now. And yeah, it's like it's up to you to like him or not like him. The book doesn't tell you that you should or shouldn't do anything. I feel like it's definitely like hey.
I feel like it's a type of book where you don't have to like him. Like, I personally love, what do you call it? Cranky old dudes, basically, are like some of my favorite characters on the planet, and he's essentially a cranky old dude throughout the entire book. Like, even though he turns young, which I did not see that coming. I thought that was a cool, like, transition. But, like, he's technically, like, 80-something years old, and he's cranky and just bitter at the whole world, bitter at himself, and, like, I like those types of characters. So I liked the way it was written. And I thought the character development was really good. Like, I felt like every character had a distinct personality, and everyone was well written.
So can you explain to me, like, let's say if this is the continent, right? And he jumps off the continent. Is he like doing this over and over?
Yeah, I feel like once you reach a point,
do you think that there are multiple alternate universes that he's going through, or do you think it's just like he respawns at the top and then falls again?
I feel like that's what the fall is. It's like it's a cyclic thing.
Cyclical?
Cyclical, is that the word?
So, but is it like multiple layers?
I don't know.
Like maybe there's a difference between the top one and the...
I think there's like different islands, or they call them like lands that are like that. I didn't really understand that part of it.
I wish there was like a drawing of it. I don't know if there is.
That's the only drawing, but it doesn't explain
I wish there was like a drawing of like the physics and how it works, you know, because I know that there is a lot of that in this with the stones and stuff.
All right, I want to read what some of the people are saying. I don't feel love for the character. I love the character, how it was written, and the fact that he's not a good person and everything. That's T. Chelsea says the guy can do whatever he wants to redeem himself for mass rape, and it will never be enough in my eyes, and I can't get past the fact I'm supposed to sympathize with him. I don't know if you're supposed to sympathize with him.
I mean, you can still sympathize with someone because they're technically still people.
I don't know if that's the point of the story.
But you don't have to.
He may forever be.
Doesn't sympathize just like understand how they feel? Isn't that what sympathize?
Empathize. Sympathize is like when you've experienced the thing, I think, also, and you sympathize with something. I think empathize is like when you've never experienced it and whatever.
And you're trying to understand how they feel.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, maybe that they're just using the wrong word there and I'm taking it too literal. But like, yeah, you can try to understand how he feels. It doesn't mean you have to like him or like what he did.
But I feel like some books just have forever morally gray characters. Like, he's definitely a morally gray character because...
Well, I mean,
he did bad stuff.
The things that he's done, it's like, yes, you may never forgive him, but, I mean, he's trying, right?
Yeah.
So you can give him the credit for trying to do something. He did also, granted, look, guys, he did try to literally kill himself, right? So it's like... Well, and he believes in like some sort of God too, so there's that whole like part of it, right? Oh, I tried to kill myself and God didn't let me kill myself.
The light.
I'm here to suffer, you know what I mean? So he's literally trying to suffer as much as he can.
So T said he already knew what he did wasn't good. That's one of the reasons he wanted to die, because he didn't want to keep living with the pain of his actions.
Which was the lazy way out, right?
He doesn't want redemption, in my opinion. He's acting better, but never said he wanted redemption. On the contrary, he didn't even want it in the end. True.
See, and this is what makes this book good. This is my favorite thing about this book, is because this conversation that we're having is a conversation that I've never had before, or even never thought about having before. Like, this is what makes... That's why I gave this book a star, because that situation that I was put in, like, the feelings that I was like, what am I supposed to do with this? It was so interesting the whole time. And that's why I was like, I can't talk about the things that happen in this book. I can't explain to you guys enough why I like it, you know?
So...
Without you guys reading it. This is it. This is perfect. This is exactly what I wanted.
I feel like it's also difficult, too, because a lot of people on BookTube, especially, never talk about characters like this. Like, it's very crapped upon to read books.
It's taboo, you could say.
Yeah,
right?
like,
taboo.
To read books about characters that are evil like this and used to murder and rape and all this stuff. And, like, it's topics that nobody wants to talk about. And so a lot of times people don't talk about books like this on their channel, but... It could bring up interesting conversations.
I'm surprised.
Not interesting conversations, but kind of important conversations.
I'm surprised he hasn't gotten, like, canceled for this. For writing a character like this. And, like, possibly, you can even say glorifying this character that has done all these bad things. I love the book. I love the way the character was written. Yes, he's a terrible person. But I love it's just so uncomfortable.
Like I've said
it's
before,
such a different book.
I don't love the character either. I like the type of character he is sometimes with being cranky. I like cranky characters. But him as a person, I don't like either.
I like his current self. I like him now.
I don't think you're supposed to like him. That's the thing. You know what I mean? Like, no one... He acknowledges that what he did was wrong, which I think on BookTube, a lot of the times people have issues, or... I have issues with books that have really bad things in them and they paint them in a good light. So if he had done all these crazy things in the past, the one thing that kind of throws me off is that in the past he thought he was doing good, but he really wasn't. I thought that's effed up. But he kind of does redeem himself in a sense because he realizes that his actions were wrong and bad. So... Books that have this type of content in it bug me if they never acknowledge that what he did was wrong.
Here's another thing, too, about books that you have to realize that's different than, like, real life and, like, somebody that does all those things in real life is that a book, you are literally in his head and you know what he's thinking. Yeah. He's not tricking us on what he's thinking. It's not like a serial killer that went around doing these things and now all of a sudden he's crying on the stand and he doesn't want to, be murdered or be killed or whatever.
To like a million things in the end, even things he didn't do.
So that's the thing though. Like the fact that we can read his mind, literally read his mind, right? Because we are in his mind. it changes the whole like point of view thing, because like you actually know how he feels. It's not like he's just saying something and now we don't believe him either, you know. So it's different.
All I'm saying is I feel like the mass majority of people are not going to like this book for that reason, because they are those a lot of people on BookTube just hate books that have any sort of like topic like this.
Well, a lot of people don't want to say the wrong thing because they're going
I mean,
to
I don't like the fact that he did that stuff in his past, but
I mean, you've already said that like 8 times.
It in a bad light.
You've already said that like
so,
8 times.
You
don't have to keep repeating yourself.
Chelsea said maybe I'm pretty a cold-hearted B-word, but him crying does nothing to make me feel for him. The world building in the book was what really made it for me, a unique world of floating islands where if you jump, you just fall off and reappear at the top and fall again. The relationship between the main characters works really well, especially when they discover who he really is. I like the trial at the end as well. That was Exiled. Chelsea said, I like plenty of morally gray characters, but not this guy. And Grumpy Old Dude is one of my favorite tropes, but something about this guy. I mean, you're allowed to not like this guy. Exiled didn't say that there's a barrier that if people hit the bottom, they're destroyed, as he wasn't expecting to survive the fall to the bottom even without hitting the ground. Didn't they say that there's a barrier that if people hit the bottom, they're destroyed? I don't remember. I'd have to reread it. Chelsea said the floating island thing was awesome. Sarah J. Maas books is all about murder. I know. He's probably not popular enough with the people who keep canceling authors, so I'm glad.
Yeah.
I love this book. It's so good. Welcome, Vivian. It's a huge risk to write a book with a main character like that. Absolutely, especially with BookTube these days.
You mean the world? It's not just BookTube. It's true. Everything.
I enjoyed the book. The fact that it made me uncomfortable is a good thing. If it didn't, I'd be more messed up than I would be more messed than I thought I am.
Yeah, messed up.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a book that makes you think about a lot of things. So that was one of my issues I had with it. And it's not even a big issue. It's just something that I wish that he had kind of put in, but it didn't ruin the story for me.
What was it?
The whole, like, them not explaining what caused him to, like, want redemption.
I think it's just he got old and you change and you learn and you know, you get woke.
I did find myself, I wrote this down, a couple of times throughout the book, I found myself, like, what really is the overarching, like, plot? Like...
It's literally
just him redeeming himself.
It's literally just him suffering through life.
Yeah.
Like doing a whole new life, trying to be better without telling anyone who he is, and just being alive and miserable.
But
and
I just
hating
wanted to
himself.
mention it because like it did pull me out a couple times, and I was just like, "Where's the plot? Like, what is the plot?"
Yeah,
like, I guess that is the plot.
I liked that too. There was like no thing, and then you find out like about his like kids, his like. Hundreds of kids that he possibly has, and I'm like, oh, I never even thought about that. This is awesome.
He's like, I made sure that they wouldn't have kids.
And it's like, did you know?
Yeah. All right, let's see what else I wrote. I told you this before, but I find it, and apparently I'm not the only person, because Christy just wrote me a message saying that, like, she left. But,
that was a while
she
ago.
likes how they're, like, Sanderson-esque. I absolutely get Sanderson vibes from this book, and I think it has to
Which is a amazing compliment.
It's not a bad thing.
No, it's an amazing compliment. It's like I think it's one of the best compliments we could give somebody, because we love like all of his books, like 99% of his books we love.
I think it's definitely the magic.
Damn, you like do these shout things where you're like, it's definitely the magic. It's like, whoa, what happened?
Especially in this, because I know there are other authors with magic systems that revolve around light, but I think the only one I've ever personally read is Stormlight Archive. And a lot of the light binding stuff and the way the fighting was and him absorbing the sword, it just reminded me a lot of Stormlight Archive and the magic system and like how the light works. Not really a bad thing, but I just kept like forgetting that it's like not the same world. The writing at times was very reminiscent of Sanderson to me. So like I would sometimes think I was reading Sanderson and I wasn't. And I don't think that it helps that it's the same book narrators as all of Sanderson's books. So I did get a lot of Sanderson vibes. So if you like Brandon Sanderson, you would probably like this story. Yeah. I was about to talk about the kids. How self-centered can you be for thinking not a single one of the girls would be pregnant? It's really Sanderson writing style, and having the same narrator made the book even more Sanderson-ish. Yes, I agree. I got vibes a lot from it. I already talked about how I loved... it's not that I loved the characters, but I thought there was a lot of character development, and really that's the whole book was character development.
Yeah.
It really wasn't a lot of, like, action, and there was no, like, overarching story. It was, like, a character developing. However, what was that guy's name that was with Lyra?
Oh, I always forget.
Dude, I was so sad that he just dies, and they're just like, oh my god, he's dead. Okay, on to the next thing. I was like, but he died.
How did he die again?
I forget. During that fight or something.
Oh,
there's
yeah,
like
when
a big fight.
the big... Oh, yeah, there's the whole shadow thing.
Yeah.
Those shadow
But I'm like,
creatures.
wait a second. They built this character up. He was a really cool character. I liked him a lot. Just like how kind of like his culture was so different from where he was, and like the language barrier was like an interesting concept that they could bring up.
I like the face thing where they can't read facial expressions and stuff.
But I thought it was really cool getting to know like a different culture, yeah, essentially in the book. And then they just kill off this guy, and I'm like, what? He died? Like, and then all of a sudden it's just like on to the next. So I thought like they did him like a huge disservice, because they talk about him a lot, and then he's just dead, and they never mention it.
What are they gonna do? What did you want them to do?
At least mourn him a little bit. Shoot.
She did mourn him.
I don't know. I was like sad about it.
She's the only one that had a connection to him. Really?
Yeah. I think that's all I wrote down. As far as like, while I was reading it, like points that came up in my head.
What about the sword? His sword, with the fact that it has a bunch of different things. Wasn't that what it was? Like, it's secret. Like, it doesn't break because it has like a bunch of bindings or whatever it was.
Oh, well, he has like 4
No,
bindings.
he had like thousands.
No, he's able to bind 4 things at once.
No.
Like
his sword, his sonicle, right?
Yeah.
Remember how it was like impervious to the touching of the other stone to it that would normally shatter
the black
it.
Stone.
Yeah, and remember whenever he would count the numbers down. Every time he did something with it, he would give it like a number. I think.
Yeah, I didn't understand
that number was how many breaks he had used up.
Oh.
So I think he still has like a certain.
I didn't get that part.
I don't remember what the number was, but
maybe you understood that from his YouTube videos.
No, that's not. He never talked about that in the video.
I just missed it. Apparently,
it's at the end, like when he's talking about the numbers.
Hearing the numbers.
But he said it like every time, like something would happen, and then at the end they explain like how many he has left. Like that was like 200 and something of 500 or something like that.
I swear every time my favorite side character is the one that dies. I know, he was so cool. I honestly liked all the side characters. Lyra was an interesting character, and the other guy that followed him around, the Lightbringer or whatever he was a good character.
Do you remember who he is? He's the one that like took him down.
Yeah, it was his like arch rival.
Yeah, he was
in the past.
He was the one that was like the leader of the rebels that took him down. I was like, corny, but well done, sir. Well done.
Interesting enemies as well. If you get stuck in the darkness for too long, you turn into a shadow beast. The word shattered every time it hit a shadow. He forgot the count after hitting. The sword
shattered.
Oh, the sword. Wow. He forgot the count after hitting the island. Huh. I assumed it was the number of kills with it. Yeah,
I thought so too at first, and then I realized it's the amount of times it shattered, I believe.
I didn't remember that at all.
Because you got to keep track of it. Otherwise, let's say you have 200 and you're at 180. You're like, uh-oh. A normal sword would only do it once, right? One of the normal ways to do it.
I love his sword. I thought he was going to get his armor out of the place he hid it, but they never did. Get his armor out of the place he hid it. I don't remember that. Hello, channel 9 3/4. So yeah. I really enjoyed it. I hate the cover still, but
I mean, he's fine on the cover. I think the other two people are...
The whole thing just looks kind of silly.
I think that the other two... I can't see it. No, it's fine. Forget it. I'm just not going to talk.
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
In case no one knows it, it's book 1.
Yes, it's book 1, but he's not like really working on a second one.
I saw like a YouTube video of him talking about it. He basically said that now after he wrote this book, he wanted to write like a classic fantasy type story. And then possibly go back and write a sequel to this, because he says this is like a self-contained story really, and it doesn't have to continue, which I agree. It doesn't have to. But yeah. 4 stars for me, maybe 4.5.
It's pretty good.
What do you think, Boop? You don't care?
Okay, guys. Thanks for not reading the book, all y'all.
Hey, we had some people read it.
Like what, 2 people?
Our next book...
What is it?
Is A Deadly Education.
I can't see, it's so far away.
By Naomi Novik.
Huh.
It's a pretty popular book on BookTube. And I don't know. I've heard mixed things about it. I've read one book by this author, and I thought she was a really good writer, but this one's like significantly shorter than her other book that I read. And apparently a lot of people want to read this on our Patreon.
Apparently a lot of people want to read it, so we're going to get like 2 people that actually read it.
So I hope someone reads it with us. I know T will read it.
Yeah. T's like the only one we can ever count on 90% of the time.
T said we don't know when the next book is coming out. Every time they refer to Lightbringers, I start thinking about Brent Week's Lightbringer series, which is one of my favorites. So I asked Kivox if he wanted to read that for this book club for May, and he was like, meh. It was the one that Jeff recommended to us. I kept telling you.
Did you read the synopsis to me like you did with that one?
No, he told you about it.
I don't know what it is. I don't pay attention to everything he tells me to do.
I know, though, T. That was my other thing, though. Like, the Brent Weeks book is, like, enormous, and I wanted a smaller book this month, so I chose this one.
Okay.
Because I need a break from, like, the 600-700 page books for, like, a minute. This book club is going to be May 30th, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's a long weekend for us. Holiday.
What? What is it?
Memorial Day.
I work on Memorial Day.
No, you don't.
I probably don't. I hope I don't.
Oh, I read that one already. I can't wait to see your guys' thoughts on it. This one?
Well, good. That's at least one person that read it.
I got the other one from the library in case. Yeah, what other one? Brent Weeks is an awesome author. I already read it, so ha, Kivox.
Well, that's good. Now you have no excuse.
Except your friend that recommended us this book who didn't show up to our live stream.
My friend?
Just like Jeff.
Oh, he doesn't do anything. Like, I'm surprised he shows up for D&D. Like, legit. Remember the other week where he, like, was, like, a half hour late?
Yeah, and he was just like...
He was like, oh, I fell asleep.
And we're like, aren't you going to tell us why you were late,
I didn't
dude?
wake... He overslept.
But he didn't say anything. He just pops on and he's like, okay, let's go.
Okay.
And we're like, dude, why are you 30 minutes late? Chelsea really liked this book. So we'll see. I don't have high expectations because even though I really liked her writing in the other book, I haven't heard... this was all over BookTube when it first came out. Everyone was like, I want to read it. I'm book hauling it. Blah, blah, blah. And
Nick,
then,
why did you do this to me?
I feel like no one talked about it.
Why did you do this to me?
I didn't do that.
Why'd you give me this?
Can you say one more time the title? This one?
A Deadly Encounter. Or
Education.
Is it? Education. Education. A
Deadly
Encounter
Education
is way better.
Sounds interesting. Might give it a go. Brent Week's book. I got it in case because you talked about it, so I borrowed it. Oh, I'm sorry, T.
What book?
So, the Lightbringer series book. I also...
But she said it's her favorite thing. was one of her favorite series. Didn't you say that?
T. This is T.
I'm so confused. You don't tell me who's talking,
T
so I
said
just
she
don't
got
know.
that book from the library also in case we chose that one instead of this one.
Well, she got it from the library. It's free.
I know.
Come on. Man. And it's Canadian library. They pay you to go there. I don't know why.
The main character is an unlikable character. Oh no.
I like unlikable characters.
It depends.
No, I don't. I hate them.
Because I feel like the last character we read was unlikable, but at the same time, there were characteristics about the character that I liked, which made me not hate my time reading it.
I liked him now.
T said, "I'm not everyone."
Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I liked him now in the thing that I like that cross section there too. So yeah, but I just hate when I don't like a character currently. When they act like in a bad way now. You know what I mean? So, yeah. All right, so I hope this book is good. How long is it? How many pages? Pajagones.
320.
Oh, 320? I'll finish that tonight. Finish it right now. I'm going to go make some food.
I still have to
finish it.
Sabriel.
Lily.
They call her Sabriel in the book. And for some reason, my mind doesn't work like that.
Oh, Sabriel is a character from D&D. She is a angel.
And I wanted to finish Tomie also, but I don't know if
she's kind of an angel.
T goes, "I'm not everyone," and Chelsea goes, "I'm not T." I will find it in audiobook. I haven't liked any books I've read from Naomi Novik, but I'll read it, guys. I hope it's good. You didn't I didn't read Uprooted. I read the other one.
Nice. Yeah, I like that one too. That's a good one. I like that one.
I give it a 4 stars. It was pretty good.
It's pretty good.
I haven't read Sabriel. Didn't have time.
Why are you saying Sabriel?
Sabriel. It's very... Alright, so here's the issues I have with it so far. I'll just talk about it quickly. It's written very, old school fantasy, in my opinion. Very descriptive at times. The story itself is good, but I find myself getting, yanked out of it a lot because it's just kind of old school. And, oh my god, the audiobook is atrocious, in my opinion.
Oh, maybe I'm thinking of a different character. Did I spell it right?
Yeah.
Maybe I'm thinking of a different character. Is this supposed to be her?
Maybe.
Yeah, she looks dope, dude.
I mean, the story itself is good, but it is a very old school type fantasy, so... sometimes I don't know. It's not my favorite writing style. So, yeah.
Where is...
Chelsea said I read Sabriel 18 years ago and really liked it then, but haven't gotten around to a reread. I feel like if I had had time
I'm thinking of Zariel.
Oh.
Zariel, that's what it is.
I feel like if I had time to physically read it, I would have liked it more. Oh. Because even though, a lot of people love Tim Curry, but, he's not bad at narrating the book, but I looked it up, and the audiobook was recorded, 17 years ago. So it just sounds so bad. This is a
17-year-old book?
They need to redo it. Yeah, it's pretty old.
That's why there's so much art for it. Yeah. Well, Sabriel is, not this. I know nothing about this. Do you want to maybe read the synopsis?
I read it to you twice.
For them.
Oh.
People here that haven't heard about it and maybe they're interested in it, so they don't have to look it up.
I decided that Orion Lake needed to die after the second time he saved my life. Everyone loves Orion Lake, everyone else that is. Far as I'm concerned, he can keep his flashy combat magic to himself. I'm not joining his pack of adoring fans. I don't need help surviving the Scholomance, even if they do. Forget the hordes of monsters and cursed artifacts. I'm probably the most dangerous thing in the place. Just give me a chance and I'll level mountains and kill untold millions, make myself the Dark Queen of the world. At least that's what the world expects. Most of the other students in here would be delighted if Orion killed me like one more evil that's crawled out of the drains. Sometimes I think they want me to turn into the evil, which they think I am. The school certainly does. Blah, blah, blah. I don't want to read anymore. So wait. Sabriel came out in 1996. It was published in the 90s. Oh, I didn't know that. So how long ago was 1996? It's like, yeah, it's old.
25.
I don't mind his voice. I just am confused as to why they had a male audiobook narrator do an entire book based on a female character. Where like,
because it was the 90s. Women didn't work yet.
I think the audiobook was done in like 2006.
Oh, jeez. No excuse then.
No, maybe not 06.
Maybe, I don't know. Who cares?
Even so, that's like 20 years ago almost. Not well, it's like 16 or 17. My math is bad. I can't math in my head. What is 2006?
14 or 15.
Yeah, so it's a long time ago. But like I said, it's not even like he did a bad job. It's just like, it's so old sounding. Like if you listen to it, it's just like you want to fall asleep immediately. I didn't know it was a female character. Yeah, she's a girl.
Well, she said she in the book, in the thing there.
What? No, Sabriel, right?
Oh, I thought we were talking about that one.
Don't blame me, Kivox, if it's bad. Sabriel? I don't know if you're ever going to read it.
I'm not going to read it. I planned on reading it, but then you told me not to.
I just don't think it... I think you would get bored. Like, if you get bored with Lord of the Rings and stuff, like...
I never tried to read it.
It's not as detailed and as classic as Lord of the Rings, like, the style, but, like, it's definitely...
You're the one that told me to not read Lord of the Rings because you said it's boring.
Yeah, I didn't love it.
So, therefore, I haven't read it. And also, you love the movies. I don't like the movies. I think the movies are boring.
It's about necromancy. Yeah, it is. I mean, so she has the power of, like... basically bringing the dead back to life and or causing them peace at the end.
Did you ever think about how healers are technically necromancers? Like they have like the same abilities, right? It's like it should be necromancy.
Not really though, because like, isn't necromancy like bringing a corpse back, but they don't have like their body or like
necromancy is like bringing life to like a thing, yeah. But it's like the same thing as like a person healing somebody or bringing them back to life. Revive, the revive spell, revivify. This is literally bringing a corpse back to life, right? So that's necromancy, but it's not necromancy technically, which is weird. It should be necromancy though, I think. Personally, my opinion.
She said that's what I was thinking right now about necromancy and healers. What? You just hurt me? How did I hurt you?
Oh, maybe the Lord of the Rings thing? Because I said the movies are boring.
Oh.
I'm guessing.
I find the books boring, but I like the movies. Just too detailed, dude. I can't. Boring. All right.
I think we're done.
Hopefully you guys join us next month, May 30th, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where we read A Deadly Education. Nice short book. So I can hopefully... There's another book I want to read this month. And we're supposed to be buddy reading the next From Blood and Ash book together, so that's kind of a long book.
So...
Chelsea said, I dramatically gasped out loud when Kivox said Lord of the Ring movies are boring.
They are. They're terrible. The freaking combat, man. I almost swore I feel so passionately about this. The freaking combat. Whenever there's like a fight scene, it's just like, armies.
I also feel like weren't you the one that said you went into the first movie thinking it was one movie?
Yeah, it's called The Lord of the Rings. I thought it was the Lord of the Rings movies. It looks like we gotta go. But yeah, I did. I didn't know it was... I was just
that
like...
That probably didn't help.
At the end, Frodo and Sam were like, oh, we're gonna go.
On to the next.
We'll make it. And I'm like, cool. This movie just started. It's been 2.5 hours. Where are we going? Credits? What? What? Yeah, that happened. Sorry about the dog.
Okay,
guys.
the books are a little slow, but the movies, come on.
The movies are boring. Like it's all about like those combat scenes and stuff. First of all, what I don't like about it is that it's supposed to be like all this magic and crazy and fantasy and stuff, but there really isn't a lot of magic using. Like there's like a glowing sword, a ring that occasionally the main character puts on and makes him invisible. It's like very light magic. Like imagine if obviously you can play D&D in that way, but I feel like that's like the opposite of what I want in like a fantasy. Like I want magic. Imagine if in D&D you were just stuck at 3rd level for the rest of the game, because that's basically what these people are. Like all the characters except for Ganondorf, he's the only one that is like a level like 5 wizard.
Talk about Gandalf.
Yeah. A level like 5 or maybe a level 7 wizard, right? He's not even like a high level wizard. He's like a 2nd tier wizard. You know what I'm saying? At least until he's like...
Until he becomes the white.
The white. And then he's like a level like a high level 2 or a high 2nd tier. So 1st tier is like 1 to 5, 2nd is 5 like 5 to 10, and then 10 to 15, 15 to 20, like 4th tier, you know. That's when you get like into like the world changing magic. You can summon a meteor from the sky, like what's his face did in the Marvel movie. I forgot when what's his name?
Thor?
No, when what's his face like
Thanos?
rips part of the moon off and like pulls it down to that planet and like it crashes it on the thing. Basically, he summons a meteor from the sky and just like annihilates the thing. Literally, you can summon a meteor in D&D.
Yeah.
You can cast a wish spell. You can stop time. Why didn't he just do that? If he was so powerful, why is he getting involved anyway? The universe is cool, but
okay.
it's still too light. Well, those are my thoughts about that. Basically, you're like, shut up.
Yeah, we gotta go.
Shut up now.
All right.
Shut your face.
All right.
All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Read that book. Otherwise, I'm done with all of you. I'm done. This is if at least half of you.
This is the May pick.
Don't read that book. I'm done with all of you.
He's lying.
I'm done. It's over.
It's over, isn't it?
Yes. Say by me.
By me. Really, dude? Really?